Welcome back to the podcast. Today, we're unpacking a crucial topic, spiritual gifts and operating through the power of love. Did you know that every single believer is loaded with spiritual gifts, at least 3 to discover, use, and develop? But here's the catch. Gifts used without love are just clanging cymbals. Without love, even great strengths like efficiency can become weaknesses that end up hurting people. Whether your gifts lean toward administration, mercy, prophecy, or something else entirely, every part of the body of Christ is vital. In this episode, we're exploring how putting love at the center transforms our gifts so we can make Jesus tangible to those around us. Let's jump in.
Okay, so let's unpack this. I want you to imagine for a second that you have a superpower.
Oh, a superpower, like flying or something.
No, not flying. A legitimate, hidden talent that is hardwired right into your DNA.
Right.
It's the thing you just do better than anyone else in the room. So maybe you're a natural leader who can command a room instantly, or
maybe you have this uncanny, almost robotic ability to organize utter chaos into a perfect spreadsheet in under 60 seconds.
Exactly. And doing that, it feels great, right? It feels like you're winning.
It does. It feels like purpose. It's like you hit a flow state.
Mm-hmm. But here is the catch, and this is where it gets really interesting to me. What if I told you that this exact superpower, this great strength of yours, is actually the most dangerous thing about you?
Wow.
Yeah, that the very thing that makes you special is the thing most likely to cause damage to the people around you if you aren't careful.
That's such a fascinating paradox, isn't it? It's the idea that your greatest asset is essentially a loaded weapon.
Yeah, a loaded weapon.
And that's exactly what we are looking at today. We are doing a deep dive into a really compelling sermon delivered at Life International Church in South Africa.
Yes.
And while the topic is technically spiritual gifts, do not let that terminology fool you. This isn't just some dusty theological checklist.
No, not at all. Because, reading through this source material, it feels way more like a personality assessment, but with extremely high stakes.
Oh, for sure.
It's almost like the Enneagram, but with moral consequences attached.
That is a brilliant way to put it. It's really a roadmap to understanding how different personality types function within a community, specifically what the source calls the body of Christ. So the mission of our deep dive today is to explore not just what these gifts are, but the shadowed side of them.
The dark side.
Right. And crucially, we're looking for that one ingredient, the absolute requirement that makes the difference between a gift that builds people up and a gift that tears them down.
So we're going to set the stage with some heavy hitters from the text. We're talking about Romans chapter 12 and 1 Corinthians chapter 12.
Yeah.
And the speaker from Life International Church makes it really clear this is for anyone who wants to understand their purpose, obviously, but it's also for anyone who is just tired of friction with other people and wants to know why we keep clashing with each other.
Right. And to understand that clash, you really have to understand the inventory. What are we actually working with here? Because the source argues we aren't blank slates at all.
We really aren't. So let's get into that inventory. I was looking at the list of specific spiritual gifts derived from those texts, and it's quite a lineup.
It is.
You've got administration, evangelism, exhortation, giving, helps, hospitality, leadership, mercy, prophecy, service, shepherding, and teaching.
That's a lot.
It is. And here is the kicker. The source claims that everyone, and I mean literally everyone, has at least one of these.
The speaker actually goes a step further than that. He suggests that most people have at least 3 of these gifts residents inside them.
3?
Yeah. They are loaded, to use his exact term. You aren't walking around empty-handed.
Yeah.
You're walking around with a toolkit that is highly specific to you.
I love that idea that we are loaded with potential. It really pushes back against that awful feeling of being generic or average.
Absolutely.
But this is where we hit that double-edged sword we talked about in the intro, because I realized when listening to this, if you understand the strength of a gift, you automatically understand the weakness of the gift.
Yes.
They are just 2 sides of the very same coin.
This is critical to grasp. A gift is given by God, according to the text, but the misuse of that gift is what brings out the weakness.
Right.
It's not that the gift itself is bad. It's that the application can be severely flawed. The hardware is neutral, The user is the variable.
So let's look at the specific example they used in the sermon, because I think a lot of us are going to relate to this, either because we are this person or, frankly, we work for this person,
Yeah.
administrator.
Yes. the administrator, the unsung hero of literally every successful organization on the planet.
So on the positive side, the strength is super obvious. They love to organize, they delegate, they put systems in place. If there is a project, they're the ones who make sure it actually gets done efficiently. They are the engine. Without them, nothing moves. But the weakness is that they can become so intensely task-oriented that they literally forget they are dealing with human beings.
Yes.
The source says they can actually be offensive or deeply hurtful in their drive to complete the mission. They just expect too much.
Yeah.
They bulldoze over feelings because, hey, the spreadsheet says we need to be at this milestone by 2:00 p.m. and nothing else matters.
It's the classic task versus people tension. I mean, if you are an administrator, your brain is wired for order. Disorder causes you actual physical pain.
Oh, totally.
You walk into a messy room or a poorly run meeting, and your skin practically crawls. So in your effort to fix the mess, which is your gift, you might accidentally crush the person who made the mess.
Wow.
The source used a very specific, challenging phrase. You can hurt people in the process to complete a task.
That hits so close to home. It's like someone say, well, I fixed the problem. Why is everyone crying?
Exactly. I saved the company money. Why does the staff hate me? And the takeaway here isn't to tell the administrator to stop organizing.
Right. We need them.
We absolutely need administrators. Otherwise, everything collapses. The takeaway is self-awareness. Understanding your gift isn't just about patting yourself on the back for being super organized. It's about knowing, okay, because I am organized, I am prone to being abrasive. I really need to watch out for that.
It's almost like knowing your blast radius.
Oh, I like that. That's a great way to put it. Every gift has a blast radius.
Yeah.
Take the gift of prophecy or truth-telling. The blast radius there is judgment. Or the gift of mercy. The blast radius is enabling bad behavior because you just feel too much for people.
So if every gift has this shadow side, if the leader can become a dictator or the truth teller can become cruel, how do we actually fix it?
Well, that's the big question.
What is the safety mechanism? Because let's be honest, relying on sheer willpower usually fails by lunchtime.
Yeah, it does. And this is where the source pivots to what the Bible calls the more excellent way.
Okay.
And it highlights a fascinating pattern in the text that I hadn't really clocked before this deep dive.
I totally missed this pattern too until we looked at the source material. But it's so incredibly obvious once you see it.
It really is. This Pico points out that in Romans 12 and in 1 Corinthians 12, Paul, the writer of those letters, lists all these powerful supernatural abilities.
Right.
Prophecy, miracles, leadership, tongues, really high-octane stuff. But immediately following those lists, every single time, the text slams right into the topic of love.
It's definitely not a coincidence. It's structural.
It's the entire foundation.
Yeah.
The source argues that without love, a gift is really just a weakness waiting to happen.
Yeah.
In 1 Corinthians 13, it famously says that if you have these gifts but you don't have love, you are just sounding brass or a clanging cymbal.
You're just noise.
Just noise. You are annoying. You are technically correct, perhaps, but you are functionally useless. The source is very strong on this word. Useless.
And the source gets really deep into the theology here. I want to make sure we capture this because it profoundly changes how you view human interaction.
It does.
The purpose of the gift isn't just to be good at something. The purpose is actually to be an extension of Christ on earth.
This was such a beautiful insight from the sermon. The speaker explains that when you operate in your gift, you are supposed to be an answered prayer for someone else.
Wow.
Think about the gift of giving.
Right. The source broke this down perfectly. If I have the gift of giving and I see someone in a lot of need and I just hand them cash because I feel obligated or because I just want to fix the problem and move on with my day, that's just a transaction.
The transaction. It's cold. And sure, the person has money now. Their rent is paid, which is good.
Right.
But if you give out of love, if the core motivation is affection and genuine care, the recipient doesn't just receive cash, they receive an encounter with God.
That's incredible.
They ask God for help, and you showed up. You become, as the source says, the Christ on the earth to that person.
That raises the stakes significantly. It's not just about writing a check anymore. It's about the spirit behind the check.
Exactly.
It transforms the entire act from a financial transfer to a deeply spiritual connection.
And the speaker was very blunt about this. He said, your gift is useless. Absolutely useless if it does not operate through love. Because the goal isn't the task itself. The goal is for the nature of Jesus to be seen through the gift. If an administrator organizes the church but makes everyone feel small and stupid in the process, Have they shown Jesus?
No, they've just shown a clean filing cabinet.
Exactly. And a clean filing cabinet doesn't save anyone. It doesn't heal anyone. Love is the delivery system for the gift. Without that delivery system, the package simply never arrives.
That is so profound, which actually leads us right into the big metaphor.
Yeah.
Because you can't talk about these texts without talking about the body.
Oh, the classic anatomy lesson.
Haha, right. The idea that we are all one body. The head can't say to the leg, hey, I don't need you.
Right.
But the source took this in a direction I really wasn't expecting. They zoomed way in on the toes.
Haha. Yes, the toe. It's a very humorous analogy, but it works so incredibly well to dismantle our ego.
So you've got the big toe, the one with the big nail. And then you've got the baby toe, the one with the tiny, barely there nail.
Hmm.
And the speaker makes the brilliant point that both are essential for balance. You literally can't walk properly without both of them.
And he touches on something very human here, the decoration. He talks about toe rings and nail art.
Yes, I love this part. He says, some of us might look like we got toe rings. Maybe someone in the community is a bit flashy or they have a more visible public role.
Yeah, they are decorated.
Exactly. They get the applause. But the source reminds us that the actual value is in the toe itself, not the ring. The ring is just surface level stuff.
It's a great warning against being distracted by the presentation of a gift. But it's also a clever setup for a much deeper issue, which is comparison.
Oh, man, comparison.
The trap of looking at someone else's gift and feeling completely inadequate.
The jealousy trap. The source gave a really specific scenario involving prophecy to explain this. He used two people as examples. Let's call them Jerome and the speaker.
Right. He poses a hypothetical situation. Let's say both Jerome and the speaker have the gift of prophecy. But maybe the speaker is operating at a level 4, and Jerome is way down at a level 2.9.
A level 2.9. I love this specificity there. It's not 0, but it's definitely not superstar status.
It's very precise. But the natural human reaction for the level 2.9 person is to just shut down.
Yeah.
To say, well, they do it better, they are more articulate, they are more spiritual, so I'm just going to sit down and be quiet. I'm not needed here.
It's totally the I'll take my ball and go home mentality. It's essentially saying, if I can't be the absolute best, I just won't play at all.
It is. And the source argues this is dead wrong. It is a complete lie. The body doesn't just need the strongest muscle, it needs all the muscles.
Every single one.
The source says one member cannot say they aren't needed just because someone else is stronger in that area. If both function, the whole body is stronger.
It's like having two legs. You don't wake up and say, well, my right leg is slightly stronger, so I'm just going to hop everywhere on that one from now on. You need both legs to run.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And the speaker really calls out the envy there. He says, we shouldn't be jealous of the one operating strongly in their gift. We should be celebrating it while actively developing our own.
Yes.
Because, and this is a key point, gifts are not static. You aren't born a level 4.
That brings us right to the topic of development. I think a lot of people think, I have a gift, therefore I should be instantly perfect at it.
Oh, yeah.
Like, if it's God-given, shouldn't it come with a user manual and perfect execution pre-installed?
The instant expert fallacy. The source dispels this immediately. He says gifts are always in a state of development. Just because you have the potential doesn't mean you have the polish yet.
He used a driving analogy for this, which, honestly, anyone who learned on a manual transmission is going to feel deep in their soul.
Oh, geez, the manual car.
Yeah.
The absolute terror of the clutch.
Right. You can have the theory of driving down perfectly. You can read the manual cover to cover. You can know exactly how the clutch works in your head. But the first time you actually get behind the wheel,
you are going to jerk that car. You are going to stall out in an intersection. It's going to be ugly.
Yeah.
The engine is going to roar, and the car is just going to hop forward.
Exactly. But that doesn't mean you aren't a driver. It just means you are a beginner.
And the application here is so profound. You cannot learn your spiritual gift in theory alone. You can't just read books about hospitality or leadership and expect to be great.
No.
You have to do it. You have to practice. And yes, that means you might jerk the car a few times.
You definitely will.
You might lead a meeting poorly. You might try to encourage someone and say the exact wrong thing. But that failure is a necessary part of the mastery.
It requires a massive level of vulnerability. You have to be willing to look a bit foolish in front of the community to eventually be really useful to the community.
Exactly. You have to drive straight through the stalling phase.
There was one last nuance on development that I found really challenging personally. It was about adaptability. The source references the scriptural command to be all things to all men.
Ah, yes. This directly addresses the people who say, well, hospitality isn't my gift, so I don't have to be nice to people. Or, I'm not a server, so I don't stack chairs after the event.
The "that's not my job" excuse. It's the highly spiritualized version of "not my department."
Exactly. And the source says, no, sorry. Even if hospitality isn't your top strength, if you are in a situation that requires it, you practice it.
You just do it.
You adapt. If you are an administrator, you learn to be people-oriented when necessary to win people over. You don't get a pass on basic human kindness or utility just because it's not in your top 3 gifts.
I really like that. It's about stretching yourself. It's saying that your personality type might explain your behavior, but it definitely doesn't excuse it.
It's really about maturity. The gifts are given to serve others, not to serve our own comfort zones. If the room needs you to be patient, you practice patience, even if your natural setting is hurry up.
So what does this all mean for us? If we zoom out and look at the big picture of this deep dive, we've gone from the inventory of gifts to love, to toes, to driving lessons.
We have to realize that we are part of a living ecosystem. The source makes it abundantly clear we are loaded with gifts. We are essential parts of a single body, toes, legs, eyes, all of it. But the engine, the fuel that actually drives those gifts, must be love.
Because without the fuel, the car just doesn't move.
Or worse, the car moves, but it runs people over. Without love, we are just completing tasks. We are just making noise. We are administrative robots or clanging cymbals.
Yeah.
But when we couple that unique superpower with a genuine love for the person standing right in front of us, that is when we become an extension of the divine. That is when the gift actually works.
It's a really powerful reframing. It stops being about, what can I do to look good? And it starts being about, how can I love you using what I have?
That's the core of it right there.
Yeah.
It moves the focus completely from the mirror to the window.
So here is a final thought to leave you with, straight from the implications of this sermon from Life International Church. We talked a lot about the big toe and the baby toe today.
We did.
Are you sitting on the sidelines right now? Are you holding back your contribution at work, in your family, or in your community simply because you think someone else is a better big toe than you?
That is the ultimate question. Because the reality is the body needs your specific balance. It doesn't need a copy of someone else. It needs the specific weight and balance that only you provide.
Right.
If the baby toe decides to quit, the whole foot becomes totally unstable.
So don't let the comparison keep you from the practice. Get in the car, jerk the clutch if you have to, but drive.
Drive with love.
Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. We hope it gave you something to think about regarding your own gifts and how you use them.
It was a true pleasure exploring this with you.
Until next time, goodbye, and have a great week.
Thank you so much for joining us for today's episode. As you go about your week, I want to encourage you to put your faith into practice. Don't just keep your gifts as theory. Discover them, use them, and develop them through real, everyday actions. Most importantly, lead with love. Ask yourself, how can I use the gifts God gave me this week to build up others and extend the love of Christ? We hope this message blessed you. Until next time, keep walking in love and serving with purpose. Be blessed.